SPY. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Thursday stream with MadMaverick here. So coming on a little bit before 9:30, before the chaoticness happens, right? With all the volume, all the volatility comes into the market at market open. So it's always good to come in before, right? And plan out at least a few trades that you may like going into market open. So that's kind of what we're going to do, break down before 9:30 rolls around and everyone starts going crazy. So good morning to everyone here. How's everyone doing? Let me go check the chat. Good morning. Charlie had a good morning yesterday in the live trading, so that was fantastic. And I'm going to sip on my coffee. That's what I'm going to do while I read through the chat real quick. Also, social media, if you have any comments, go ahead and just post some comments in this. If you're on X, if you're on Facebook, if you're on any of the other ones that we have, and you have some questions, go ahead and comment there. I will try to get to them because it's just me going back and forth today, checking them. So I will try my best to check them every once in a while. So SPY, we had a very good day in premium yesterday. If you like to trade options, we have a pretty simple way of doing it. At least I try to keep it as simple as possible by looking at resistance points and support areas to trade through a break or breakdown, break up, whatever it is. But at least we get in and we plan these things before it actually happens. And then what we do is we follow through with our plan that we put in place once it sets up the way we want it to, upside, downside, whatever it may be. So yesterday we did have in the live stream, we did have the break up, which I took the levels off from yesterday because I just put new ones on now. But we had some very good levels here. We were looking for a break. I think it was at 660, 650, something like that. And we broke up and we went all the way to 670. And then once we actually hit our targets way before that. But once we topped out at that 670, we started falling and falling. We did definitely fall quite a bit from that 670. And then once that rolled over, we actually played the downside as well. So we played upside and downside. You can do both. You can do one or the other, whichever one you feel more confident in trading. That's okay. If you want to do both, that's even better. So we played upside. I personally played downside with everyone on the stream, and it went all the way down to 658 was the low of day before we saw a bounce, right back up to 666 going into after hours. So it's a very successful day trade for the downside move. It was actually a bigger downside than upside at the beginning, so I'm glad that we caught that live. So now we're just going to go to today's levels and then see what we can plan out for today's levels. And I did this kind of before I came on the stream, so we didn't have to waste too much time going through the strategy, right? Because the strategy ultimately is breaking through resistance points, which I'm actually going to raise this line a little bit to this. So I'm going to raise that a little bit to that wick. Then I'm going to move this up a little bit and then leave the bottom level the same. And what we're going to do is I'm going to change this level to, hold on. Oh, it changed. No, it didn't change with it. Let me change it. So these are the levels I want to see. So SPY, if you like to trade options, great plan to put out before you get into market open. Look at support levels, look at resistance levels, and then plot out where your targets are going to be once we broke through the resistance, or if we break down below a support, where is the next level of support to aim for as a target for your options, right? So that's what I put out today. So we're going to look at a breakthrough of 668.30 That's the level to the upside that we want to break. That's a resistance from pre-market. And then if we get through that level, a 2-3 minute candle close above it. I prefer 2 minute. If we can get a 2 minute candle close above it, I think we have a good possibility. I can't guarantee you, right? But we have a good possibility that we could get right back up to 670 where we were yesterday before we fell off. So that's kind of what I will be aiming for, this level from yesterday. So we break through 660, 830. We hold above it. Obviously, the SMA 20 ribbon, which is a part of my strategy that I teach in the coaching, is going to be positive. We're going to see RSI above 50, and the volume's going to be there if we can break through that resistance. So if we can get through that level, I'm going to be aiming for calls. It will be 669 calls for tomorrow's expiration, because I don't go zero DTEs. That's just my rules. If you can go zero DTEs and you feel comfortable with that volatility, go ahead. You can trade those too. But for me, I'm going to go for tomorrow's expiration, 669 calls, if we break to the upside. Now, if we break down below 667.29, and I didn't just pull this level out my butt. I looked at these levels pretty much from pre-market here. And if we can break, and yesterday's areas too, if we can break through 667.29, then we have, like, the target's not going to be such a big move. There's going to be targets on the way down, a little bit smaller. But we're going to look for 666 puts for tomorrow's expiration once we lose 667.29. So a 2 minute candle close below that. Then we're going to be aiming for 666.78, 666. And then if we really start falling off, then we can look at all these levels from yesterday to look for continuation to play for the puts, right? So I would just put like, let's see what we got here. I prefer probably down here. Probably down here would be a nice little target point. We can aim for like right here too. So these are continuations. If we just continue to fall right off the cliff from the get-go, then we may start to see this fall and roll over to these extended target points right here. So that's going to be my SPY pre-plan for today. They're pretty successful. If you ask some of the premium members here today, they'll tell you that they've been pretty successful on these pre-plans and made some really good cash there. No guessing behind it either, right? We're just basing it off of some levels. So I put those levels right here. If we want to see more downside, we look for these levels, extension levels. Let me see what else is in the chat. Yeah, good morning. $5 journey. Are you going to turn that $5 into $5,000? Is that the journey that you're on? Would love to be a part of making that happen. DK asking me what this is. This is, I don't know if you're asking about ticket SPY, right? So following S&P. That's what it follows. And this is just an option trade going into market open. So I'm not going to jump right into it once market opens in about 5 minutes. I'm going to just let it play out for maybe like 5 minutes or so, see kind of what trend we get, and then follow through that trend, because we may pull back down and then we may just start ripping back up. So I want to give it a little bit of room after market open and let us, let it show us its true colors, so to speak. So that's that. And then I'm going to go through the watch list trades. Let me get rid of some of these from yesterday. So I've got SPY on my chart, on my watch list. And then I'm going to go to my other plays that I put out in the watch list channel. Let me copy and paste that into this chat right here. So these are momentum trades only, guys. So the ones that I just put in the chat, there's 4 picks every morning. If you can't get on Discord, let me know. We can send you the email link and you can get right to your email every day. If you don't know kind of how to work this Discord, get a little bit confused, and it's easier for you through email, send me a DM. We send you the link. You can get them through the email as well. But these are momentum trades. So we're looking for a volume follow through, and we're looking for a clean just break of the VWAP and the SMA 20 close. and the volume to follow through, right? That's all we're looking for with these momentum trades. If they are not there, if the volume's not there, price action's not going to be following. It's not going to be ripping to the upside if the volume's not there. So that's all we're looking for. We're looking for that volume, and then we're looking for the break of those entries to take a trade. So I'm going to put these in my watch list right now too. And VIVK already, if you looked at my watch list channel this morning, I did put some out yesterday to watch into pre-market. VIVK did very well already. That one was a break of 45 and we hit about 63, I think, last time I checked this morning. So I'll put these on my watch list on the TradingView. I'm going to see what else is moving, and I may just add a few more there. Let me have a look. PRAX was a big mover with their trial update today. It's up like 170%. RYOJ is one that moved pretty nicely after hours yesterday. So I'm just going to add a few to this watch list here. Okay, so the VWAP, we're looking at VWAP here, right? And then we're looking at the SMA 20, not the 24 for me. This ribbon here is made up of the SMA close, the SMA 20 close, and the SMA 20 low, the average, right? The low of the day. So over 20 days. So that's what we're looking for. The close, SMA 20 close, SMA 20 low. And I'm actually just going to, we've got about 2 minutes here, and I'm just going to watch SPY here into market open, because this could be a nice setup to make us some really good money on the option side already. So I'm going to just watch this and see how this plays out. And then I can go through the watch list trades this morning. After this stream as well, or during this stream, I may just release that one swing trade pick that I found yesterday. I did a write-up for it. I'm going to release it to everyone this morning during the stream or after the stream. And I will put that in the watch list channel as well. So you can grab that PDF and read through it, see if you like it. And then if you do like the setup, maybe trade it. I did not yet, but I will. I will shortly. So SPY's already kind of dumping off into the 9:30. We got about 30 seconds before market opens, so I'm going to see what this does. And then it may look like it wants to sell back off again, and we have some nice targets if we do. So everyone ready? Everyone ready? We got 20 seconds. Everyone feel ready for the market open here. Let me know what tickers you're looking at already. If you're momentum traders, you found a stock that you like, hit the comments and let me know which ones you're looking at. And I will check them during this stream as well. So, okay, 9:30. There's the bell. So we're going to see what this does right from market open. Let's see how that plays out. So we're already starting to sell off with SPY. So what I'm going to do on my Webull, I've got another screen here. I'm going to pull up SPY. And I'm going to get my contracts ready just in case it plays. If we lose this level here, then we can play it to the next level. So I'm going to pull up tomorrow's expiration. I'm going to look at puts, and I'm going to pull up 666 puts. I'm going to queue them up just in case we get an entry here. Nothing right now. I'm not entering. I'm just queuing it up in my little order entry on Webull just in case we get that entry. If we don't, then and we start to move back up, maybe I will switch it to calls. So now we're already falling off. So I'm looking for a drop of 666.78. That's the next level we need to lose to continue on down towards these levels. I'm just going to go to the 2-minute chart here. Just draw these lines a bit better, these circles, right? Got OCD with these circles. So we got a reaction right off this level. So no puts until we start to see some fall off below those levels. Right now, I'm just going to be kind of sitting on my hands on SPY until, and this is why we wait a little bit, right? Because we're only 2 minutes into market open and we got already a nice volatility into 9:30. Now we're trying to reverse with this nice big green bar right here, right? So just going to let it play out for a little bit here. So we got that little pop in this green candle. Then we're following through with a bearish candle right after. Let's see if it decides to just fall right off this level here. And then I'm going to take that one put 666 for tomorrow's expiration. And I'm going to queue that up ready to go. If we lose this blue line right here, I'm going to put this maybe on 4. And if we're looking at the strategy that I teach in my coaching, I use the SMA 20 to guide us bearish, bullish sentiment. And I'm also looking at the RSI. What is that telling me right now? If you're looking at this chart, what is it telling me? It's below the ribbon. So what does that tell me right now? Do any of you guys know? What do you guys think if it's below the SMA 20? Is that bullish or bearish sentiment overall? And the RSI is 35. And this is just day trading, right? I'm just day trading with this strategy. I also swing trade with it, which you look at the bigger time frames, you see the cleaner entries, the cleaner targets with this strategy. But we're just day trading with it, so it's going to be a little bit bumpy. This SMA 20 in the day on a 2-3 minute time frame. But overall, I see some good comments there, bearish, right? As long as we stay under that SMA 20 close, which is the green line. This chart is still bearish for me, meaning that it looks like we're going to still decide to fall off here. The RSI is at 32, which is bearish. The RSI is showing strength, right? And it's not showing any strength, so it's bearish, not above 50. So we got the SMA 20, the price action below it. We got RSI below 50. The volume right now is not there to say this is going to flip bullish anytime soon. It's still bearish at this moment. So I'm just going to stick to that sentiment until it changes, until it shows us that it's changing, which meaning the price action gets above those levels, above RSI 50, above the SMA 20. That's when I may just flip my whole sentiment, right? So right now it's just bearish still. We got this little bump here, but it never got above the SMA 20. We got a rejection. Now we're falling back down. So as long as we stay below this 666.78, I think we have a downside move that we can play. I haven't bought any puts yet. I'm going to wait for this candle. Oh, let me look at my positions here. Oh, this is nice. All right. Thank you so much for that, sir. Oh. All right. So it looks very bearish here. And I'm going to just queue that order up. And all throughout the day, we're just going to get so much volatility. If Trump decides to speak and say something along the lines of, hey, we're not got a trade war with China, or hey, we do, and it's looking bad, then, it can fall off or it can rip right back up. So you always have a plan, a stop loss in place for either direction. Having that protection is going to keep you in trading for a lot longer than just having no protection and just hoping for the best to happen. So I am going to buy. I'm going to look to buy one put here. Let's see what this candle does. See if I can get a little bit better of an entry. And this whole trend, little box up the top right corner, kind of gives us the trend, the momentum. Right now, if you look at this, it's more bearish than bullish at this point. So that's also good to see if you're looking to play downside. Now it's flipping all bearish. Let me see if I can get filled. It's flipping, but yeah, it looks like it's going to fall right off here. But there's a lot of volatility. So good to see that you guys commented bearish. It's still bearish at this point. You can also use the 5-minute time frame to get a better overall trend, and it's still very bearish as well. You can go to 15-minute, still bearish. So you can look at the bigger time frames and you can see overall 15 minutes still bearish, 10 minutes still bearish, 5 minutes still bearish, 3 minutes still bearish. So overall, the sentiment is just bearish until we start ripping back above the SMA 20. So I'm just going to look to take one put, but I'm going to just be very patient here and see if I can get a better entry on this. Oh, that's nice. Amazon doing medical. Okay, so I'm going to take one. I'm going to take one. Give me a second. Let's see what happens here. We got a fight on our hand between the buyers and sellers. Ideally, I would love to see a retest of the SMA 20 and rejection, and I'll just buy it there. Ideally, that's what I would love to enter if we get that. Oh, we may not get that. We may just start falling off again. You got in at 272 for which trade did you get in at 272? Let me know which one you get in. Uh, 272. Okay. Okay. So there's 666 puts for tomorrow. Yeah, I got one queued up. I would love for a retest of the SMA 20 and then reject just like this one, but I don't think we're going to get that. It looks like it just wants to fall right off here. I may just have to get one down here. Let's see. Just going to be very, very patient here on the entry. Looks like we're going to see a follow through here on the downside. I'm going to buy one contract. Did I get filled? Let me see. Okay, so I have one contract filled at 285. We're up to $3 a contract, 305 a contract. So we're up 7% already from that quick buy that I just had towards the top of that candle. About 5%, but this is quite the red candle here. So if this continues to follow through in this candle, we got about a minute left for this candle. So this could easily get sucked right back up. Buyers could easily push this right back up and go green. So I prefer to see this candle close red or below that level, at least that blue line. And then we can maybe get some of that follow through, nice follow through towards our 666 target for continuation here. So right now, those puts that I got into about 5%. I got one contract only, and it filled at 285. It wasn't the best fill, to be honest with you. But I take it. And my stop loss will be no more than 15% from my average. That's what I'm willing to risk here. So I can screenshot. This is my contract right here. Put in the chat. So I would like to see a follow through these next candles. And if you're in profit already, like OG, maybe you're in profit. Maybe it's a good time to have like a max risk that you're willing to take. If it decides to rip up suddenly, then you can have that in place to protect your downside. There's not worth with SPY, especially not worth hooping and praying that it's going to come back down if you're in puts. If it decides to rip back up, that's when you're going to start to lose 50%, 80% of your position thinking that way. So it's best to have a strategy or a plan in place even before getting into that trade. As you can see, we look like we're going to fall off there. We got this big green candle ripping right back up. So we got volatility to the max here. We got a lot of wicks to the top and to the downside at this point. So I'm down about 1%. I'm down on that one contract. If you want to go by strategy wise and you want to say, well, my stop loss will be max if we decide to get SMA 20, the price action above the SMA 20, that also could be an option for a stop loss as well. If we decide to get back above this level, then that's going to turn the chart bullish, right? So that could be your max stop if we break above the SMA 20. If you don't want to do that, just go by percentage, 10%, 15%, whatever max you want to put in place. That's okay. But everyone has a different risk tolerance, right? So my risk may be totally different to yours. So I'm down about 8% now on this one trade. And I think I'm going to have my stop loss if we get above this SMA 20. It looks like it's trying to get above it. Oh, we got a rejection so far, but it's not looking too good for me, especially with this green candle right here. There's some nice pickup right at that level. So I can easily put stop loss in, take my loss if we get above that green line. And that sucks, but at least I'm not going to take any more than that as a stop, right? So I can easily get that back on another trade out there. So there's a lot of pickup here, a lot of buying coming back in here. It wants to try to flip over to the SMA 20 close. And that will be my stop, guys. I will just manually stop out if we can close the candle above this SMA 20 close, which is trying to now. Got about a minute left on this candle. Looks like it wants to rip, which is okay. I will exit gracefully if we close a candle up there. About 20 seconds left. That's quite the reversal. And all these trend, all the momentum's shifted bullish. So not looking great for the bearish trade now, right? It's looking very ugly. We got back above the SMA 20 close, and it looks like it wants to close above it. So I'm just going to stop out. Now, I'm just going to stop out now. This candle's closed up there. I'm going to stop right out, take my loss. That's okay. Sucks, but it is what it is. I'm not going to just hope that it comes back down here, because this can continue to rip all the way back to that 670. And then at that point, those contracts are going to be done. Totally toast, right? So I'm not going to be risking that. But you can see we're a cool collective. We didn't stress out. We weren't worried about, what was going on. We were just worried about executing the plan that we had in place, or at least I had in place, which was a break above the SMA 20. I take my stop loss. If it falls down, okay, oh well, it sometimes happens, but what if it didn't happen? It continued to rip right back up. Then you would just be in more of a loss. And I'm not trying to continue losses at this point. I want to max my risk and get out when it meets my plan, and that's it. If it happens to flip and go full down, maybe we can re-enter, but I'm not going to do it when it's up here above the SMA 20. So that didn't work out very well. I got out for, what did I take on that? I think it was like 20% loss on that one. But it is what it is. So we would never have predicted this big sell-off here, right? And all I was doing is following my plan, and oh well, it's falling down now, but I'm not going to be pissed off. I'm not going to be throwing my computer out the window saying, what if I held? I'm not going to be like that, because that candle could have easily been another rip to a 3-bar, right? So now it decides to fall off. So that's sucks, but whatever. Whatever. That's just the volatility of SPY. And now I'm going to go flip between these watch list trades. Let me go through here, have a look. VIVK is probably the better one to trade. And all we're trying to do here is, especially as a new trader, is to have a plan and to execute a plan. And that's what coaching comes into it, teaching you how to follow through with your plan, a strategy that you can follow through. And maybe I took a loss today, right? And maybe I got a 50% win rate. But if I follow through and let the runners go higher, the winners go higher, and I look for continuation, those profits will outdo those small losses that you take in the trades that didn't work out. So if you have a strategy with the SMA 20, you also have, like, incorporate the RSI, maybe you incorporate the volume as well. These simple strategies will get you more consistent on the upside. You're going to take small losses, but overall, with a strategy and a plan in place, you're going to be making more green than red overall in your P&L. And that's what matters, right, to everyone here. So I took that small 20% loss. Maybe I set up later on today and we take 30-40% profit on the next one. And we don't need to worry about it anymore. Ooh, man. Hoo. Yes, we can look at Baba. What do you want to look at for Baba exactly? Let me know. Are you trying to play upside or downside? Are you trying to play the downside move or the upside move? All right, I have this line here. It's following through right now. Options upside. Okay, well, if we just go on the daily time frame and we're looking just at my ribbon and we're looking at the resistance point up here. So I'll put that line red. That's our resistance, right? I'll put that red. Let me put this down to like number 3 on the thickness. I would look at these levels and plot out support levels that potentially it could fall down to. So I'd look for this level. This is the previous high that we saw, right? So that would also play for me if we decide to fall down lower and we retest this area here, and we see positive reaction there, then we could take a trade off this, because we know that this previous high held as support and we didn't fall right through it. So that shows me some good signs that we didn't fall right through this level. We held it as support, and then we can buy it into the reversal and aim towards that resistance point up here, previous high. And maybe we go higher on that next time around, because we're also building up a higher low and a higher high on that next time around, go up here. So if we decide to pull back, say China still has, we have trade wars with China, we go on and there's some restrictions, US put restrictions in place and it goes back and forth, tit for tat kind of thing, then I think the China stocks will not hold up very well. But if they decide to meet, which I believe they're meeting, I don't know if it's the end of the month, they're meeting in South Korea to have a one-on-one conversation. As long as that doesn't get canceled and something good comes from that, then I think that we could get a trade to the upside on Baba. So worst case, maybe we come down to 146. Maybe we come down to, we can put these levels in place here. We come down to 128. And then look for the reaction. Before jumping in, look for the reaction off those support levels. And if they're positive, when we start to push off those levels, then we can look to take an entry and our stop loss can be just under that support level. So it's very tight stop loss. Your risk is very minimal and our upside can be very nice. So say that hypothetically we come down to that 146, 147, and we see a bounce off that level. We can aim for that previous high here. And our stop loss can be very tight underneath that line. So maybe we risk 2-3%, but our upside towards that recent high is about 30%. So is that a good risk to reward in a swing trade? That's a question for you guys. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. If it's a good risk to reward, 3% risk, 30% upside to that recent high. Does that sound good to you? If you were thinking about taking that kind of trade, put thumbs up, thumbs down. If you think it's a bad risk to reward, put thumbs down. If you think it's a good risk to reward, put a thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, 2 thumbs up. I actually will put a thumbs up too, because I think that's a good risk to reward. I'm risking only 3% downside move. If I get stopped out, oh well, I'm risking 3%. But my upside, if we decide to continue up from that level that we're bouncing from, our upside could be that previous high, right? So it could be 30%. And a higher high and a higher low, we technically on that higher low and we push off the higher low, we technically should be aiming for a higher high anyways, because it's a bullish pattern. And if we see a follow through with that bullish pattern, we should see another high. So we should go higher than 192 next time around, right? So, and this could easily be a low here, could be a low here, could be a low here, could be a low here. And this, if it comes down to 146, it still will be a higher low, right? So we got low, high, high, low, higher, high, higher, low. Then we go and say we shot right up here. That's a higher high. Then we look for a higher low. And then we will look for a higher high from there if this continues to be this pattern. So yeah, for the trade. So that's a pullback trade to support. 146, if it holds, great, that could be an entry. If it doesn't hold, we look at 128 next. If that holds, that could be an entry. And then if we're looking for momentum, say now we're stuck in this middle of this little level between support and resistance, we're stuck here, and you're looking to play upside from here, then you look for a break across that SMA 20 close to then play it towards the high and then go towards a higher high from there to make a new high. So if you're looking for momentum and we're in this level here and we don't come down to here, then I would just look for a close above the SMA 20. And that goes by my strategy. And then the RSI will be above 50. The price action will be above the SMA 20 close. And then the volume should be there to back it up as well. So if we decide to not break down, then I would look for a break above 174. To play more upside from here. So break down, hold support, play it off support. If we just decide to push up from here, then I'll look for a break above 174 to take it high from there. Just based on my strategy that I teach, in the Discord. Let me look at the chats real quick. I don't see any. I don't see any comments, any questions, so that's good. Does that make sense, DK? Just having a plan in place and then letting the price action come to you. Don't be rushing to say, oh, this is discount now, but it's in the middle of no man's land between a resistance and a support. It's very risky business to say, let me buy some shares here, because there's nothing to back it up with at this point. You're just hoping that it reverses here, but then the possibility of it dropping is also 50%. So it's a 50-50 shot at this point. But if we incorporate a strategy, then things can look better for confirmation wise, because you're above the SMA 20 close. The RSI is above 50, which is bullish. The volumes follow through is there too. So that gives you confirmation to say, well, hell, I know why I'm taking this trade now, because these confirmations are showing me to. Same thing with support. Okay, I'm looking for a support bounce. We retested that support. We're pushing off the level with some good volume, velocity. That makes sense to buy it off the support with the volume that came right in off that level, and my stop loss just underneath that line. So it protects my downside, very tight, 2-3%, and the upside could be magnificent from there, right? But you got to have every base covered. Downside risk. Targets can come later. If it moves up, it keeps moving up, you have time to take profit and to make target points. If it's moving in your direction, you have a lot of time. You can also just raise your stop up right behind to protect your profits along the way up as well. Yeah, there's a lot of chop out there. One trade I do like. So that's what I would look for Baba. So it really depends on trade war, to be honest with you. If this gets worse, I think China stocks dump off. It doesn't matter if their fundamentals are fantastic. They're going to dump off because investors don't want that risk. They don't want to be in that risky business. They want better trades, and they will go elsewhere for that. They won't invest in this tit for tat trade war. They will not invest in those companies in the middle of that, which will be China related stocks. AQMS, and I mentioned that in my swing coaching class yesterday in my channel. These have very good pullbacks. These metal companies, these mineral metal companies that have been running and ripping for so long, there's going to be so many chasers out there, but the smart traders will just look for pullbacks to support levels or pullbacks to demand levels, and then see what the reaction is off of there, to then take a trade off of those levels, much cheaper levels than the ones chasing it at the very top. So I put out those picks yesterday in my swing trade for MadMaverick. Let me see where those are. What did we hit today? Hit 19. We're moving on. Moving our way up here. Also, I mentioned this. Did anyone grab AQMS yesterday when I mentioned this? I put this in the watch list channel, so this was free for everyone to get a hold of. The entry wasn't the best entry, but the entry was about $13. Around there is where I grabbed a few shares yesterday in this downwards trend. And look where we are today, $19, $20. Easy 20-30% from your entry from yesterday. So you just got to be a little bit smart on these pullbacks and don't buy at the tops. We will never buy at the tops in the Discord, in the premium Discord, or anywhere that we're doing live streams. We're not going to be buying these tops. We're going to look for pullbacks to smart entries and then take them off those entries. But this is AQMS. It's up 32% today, right? So just kind of let that sink in. If you took that trade yesterday, and even if you held it throughout the night, you're up significantly overnight. Even where we played it to yesterday, if we look at $13 entry yesterday, right? So it's around here. Look where it went after hours anyways. If you were day trading it, it went to $16.5 here. So very good trade on these mineral stocks. And they're also going to be highly volatile because of the whole rare metal material that China's put a really strong grip on, right? They're controlling their exports, which are giving these US companies that are related to mineral metals, anything related to EV, that they need EV materials or they need battery materials. These companies based in the US are going to rip on that kind of restriction news from China. So with this one, AQMS, we went as high as, where did we go? What's this wick high? $39, right? So we went up to $39 over here, right here. So for continuation wise, I would just look for a breakthrough this resistance point where we hit this morning. So if you're looking to trade maybe continuation, or you're in profit already, maybe think about putting a stop loss in place or a trailing stop loss to follow this price action. And then if you want to look for, okay, I'm going to hold a few more shares for continuation, you want to break above this resistance point. And then we have the next target around here, 25. So if we can get above 20 and a half, then I would look to take that next target to about 25. And this is obviously not financial advice, guys, right? So I'm just giving you a hypothetical, what I would do, what I would look for. But base your trades off of what you can do, what your risk is, and how you want to trade it is totally up to you. But I'm going to give you these levels, what I'm looking at. So continuation-wise, above $20.55. That's what I want to see it break through. Once we break through and hold, I think we have a nice opportunity to play this up to about $25 next. Thank you, Nikki, for posting that. If you want the link, I have the swing trading course at 11 o'clock live stream today at 11. So right after this, I'm going to take a 30-minute break. Then we're going to get right into the coaching stream at 11 a.m. Eastern. So want to be a part of that, click on that link, jump into the coaching. Let's make some money together. We have a very simple way of doing it. Let me go through SPY. So SPY is following through now to the downside. So I got wicked out of that. Oh, well, doesn't matter. I take the loss. I get it back sometime today. So the follow through is downside right now. This one looks very strong. Let me go to WHWK. This is one that was on the watch list, but it pulled back. But this is looking, the volume's coming in. You start to see that flip of volume, right? We see the red, a lot of mixed red and green here, but we start to see more green volume coming in, a surge of volume. So I want to see this continue. And then this could be a nice trade. Let me put on the VWAP here. All right, so we are starting to flip a little bullish on this chart. So this is WHWK. This will be a day trade, equity day trade. If we're looking to flip this really bullish, then we want to get above VWAP. So above 348. If we can get above 348 and hold above it, then this could start ripping right back up towards where it was pre-market. So we could start, say, above 348. Target will be $4 plus. With this one, they had news this morning, and I can check the news real quick. Okay, so Tempus AI, which we know that Nancy loves to buy into this position before it ripped up like 6 months ago. This AI company entered into a multi-year collaboration with this therapeutic. So they're going to they've got a partnership between Tempus AI and with this company, White Hawk, and they're going to leverage a Tempus real world data and AI capabilities for biomarker-driven cancer research. Anything related to cancer that's positive, you're going to get some price action and some strong volume in those kind of stocks. So with this one, cancer research, AI-driven, based off of Tempus product that they have. So if this does continue to rip up here above 348 is our entry as a day trade equity, so just buying shares. And then from there, we take it to 4+. And potentially, if the volume continues to come in, then we take it towards those pre-market highs of 450. But right now, we're not quite there. We're not above VWAP yet, but we're heading that way. Took a little bite up 3%. Could hit $80. What's that one? Oh, NVA. Oh, yeah, NVA. Oh, yeah. So all of those metal companies pulled back yesterday, and they're kind of holding levels today. That could start moving back up to where they were over the last couple of days. So I would definitely pay attention to continuation on AQMS. LAC is one of the big ones that we don't really see many people mention it. But LAC has investment from the U.S. government. So if I was looking at something that a mineral company, I would be looking at that one because they have an investment from the government. The government want them to succeed. And also LAC, Lithium, America also has, I believe they used to have a partnership with GM. They may still have a partnership with GM. So they have more clout in that space than these other names do that don't have no revenue, don't have no partnership news, they don't have no investment news. So if I was to pick one to follow better and that I could see maybe long-term being better in that sector, it would be this LAC, and it's pulling down 16% today. But that, for me, is a buying opportunity. We can look at this level here that I drew up already. And this could be a nice buying opportunity. This already played out really nicely. But this one, LAC has investment from the US government. I think that's really good. And I don't mind looking at taking a trade here. So this one, man, looks like it's juicy. If I get rid of all these lines, this one could be a nice. I love this pullback too. Looking like at this level here, between this level and say this level. You know what? I'm going to do a one step better than this for everyone. I'm going to draw a rectangle. How about that? Rectangle. Even better. So this is prime level to watch for LAC. This is all bearish. Everything is selling off hardcore. But if we decide to get a pickup here, looking at this level here, all the way back here, we've seen it hold up very well from here, right? So if we can hold this level down to even like if 782 can hold, say it retests 782 today, between 782 and 793, if we can hold those at that little box, this has a good opportunity to reverse from here if the volume decides to push back up. So I would definitely be looking at taking a trade here if it holds between 782 and 793. Just based off of previous times we retested it. That gives me, oh, what did I have here? Okay. Yeah. Wow. So I got a downgrade. That's why the pullback. Let me have a look at that. That's good to take a look at. I can go to stockanalysis.com. I can check out any news there. Trump like to invest more in rare earths, Bassett says. So President Donald Trump administration is likely to take stakes in more companies following China's latest rare earth export limitations, Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett said on Wednesday. So that was yesterday. JP Morgan's adding money to the fire, yeah. So I don't see. Let me have a look at Webull even. Let me just have a look at that. I think it's a buying opportunity for this. Let me see. So they got a downgrade to underweight at JP Morgan. Probably try to manipulate it so they can get it cheaper. Just the way it is. So for me, this is a buying opportunity. Say, well, we start to see a 10, 15-minute candle start reversing here, and we start to see it reverse off this box, then my risk is very minimal. Say we start to see buying pressure here, my stop loss could easily be somewhere like, okay, so I'd say I entered right at this level. My stop loss could be maybe 3-4% down to maybe this wick over here, this level over here, this low. And my upside could easily be kind of where it was at least 10%, right? So a risk about 3%, getting 10% at least back. And then if we decide to head right back to where we were, maybe about 20 to 25%. But you can see that I'm risking very minimal, 3%. I'm saying, okay, we've seen some buying pressure. We're holding off this level here. My entry is once we push off this level, my stop loss will be maybe below this wick here. So I'm risking about 3%. And then my upside could be as much, at least 10% would be my first target. And then looking up here at 15% and looking maybe to where it was about 20 to 25% just a day ago. So these dip buys could be very good opportunities to buy into these mineral companies. Go back to whitewash here. White Hawk is starting to move above VWAP. SPY is down. Yeah, that's nice. SMA 20 wins again. Thanks, Lee. You're welcome, man. You made a lot of money this year. 350,000, Nick. He's taking us all out for breakfast this morning. SPY, let me have a look at SPY before. Yes, the SPY is falling. Man, it is what it is. I'm not going to throw my computer out the window just yet. But we saw a drop off here, right? So we're falling. We continue to fall off. And if you actually went by a 3-minute time frame and not a 2-minute, you would have still been in this trade, because you see the rejection at the top of the SMA 20, that green line. All the candles closed below it. So you would have technically been in this trade if you went to the 3 or 5 minute time frame. The 2-minute, it can bring a lot of chop in it, and you would have got stopped out here. And that's why maybe going up to the 3 or 5 minute is a better bet for you to take this trade. So you can see rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. On the 3-minute, everything was bearish, even when I got stopped out. So and that's why also I don't trade on 1-minute time frames, because look at that. Look at the choppiness of that SMA 20 and all those signals. So 3 to 5 minute is better to use for those trades, option trades, 3-day trips. So even on this bounce, right? As long as it rejects off of the SMA 20, then it's still bearish on the 3-minute time frame. So even if we get little pumps, as long as it falls off and goes lower and stays below the SMA 20, it's still bearish until it breaks above, right? So if you stayed in those puts, so if you got into some puts, they should be up pretty decent. White Hawk is starting to move off of VWAP now. We got the retest of VWAP. So if you took a trade here above our 348 entry, the VWAP entry, I'd be looking at putting a tight stop just under VWAP personally. So if we lose VWAP, then this chart will likely go bearish again. So as long as we stay above it, we can just move our stops up along the way to protect our position. And then if you want to put stop loss in now, say, then you can just put it just under VWAP. So you're not going to lose much here. We go through the chat. Chomp was sent. Yeah, probably right, Nick. You may be right there. I think look, I can zoom into even the 5-minute chart, and you can see there's some reaction in this box right here that I drew, right, on the bigger time frame. We looked at like the daily right here, right, the 4-hour, the daily. Obviously, there's some a good level that it can hold up here if it does. So this could be a primed entry and then a very tight risk below, like we were saying, maybe about 770, 765. So you're not risking too much here for upside trade right back towards, $9 to $10 again. Go about 10 minutes. You guys have any questions, any charts you want me to look at? Top, nice one. SLI for lithium. Let's have a look at that one. SLI. Oh, this is nice. Look at the daily on this one. So this one continues to move up. Even when the other ones pull back, this SLI, Standard Lithium, is still making highs. And let me see what this one makes. Does it make any money? A very small amount of money. Oh my God, they're so negative on the net income. The fundamentals on this one suck. The momentum, obviously the technicals, you can just play the momentum. But if you look at everything behind, like underneath the hood, that's what we also focus with in the swing trading coaching. We're focused on not just the technicals here. We're looking at all the stuff behind the scenes that's going to maybe change your mind to take the trade or give you more momentum or more confirmation to take the trade. So like right now, if I just quickly glance at this, I'm seeing that their cash is dwindling away. They're burning cash like crazy. A couple of years ago, they had 100 million. Now they're down to 33. So their cash growth is diminishing. You have total assets of, let me see, 275. Liability is low, so that's good. I actually like that they have a low debt and they have high amounts of assets. So that's okay. But if we look at the income is also going lower. It's not getting better. So you can see the incomes, they're losing income and their net income is going even more negative. So red flags here. This trading 12 months is now negative 186 million on the net income. It was 59 million last year, negative. So they get whatever's going on behind the scenes not working. Maybe their expenses are outrageous. Maybe they need to do some restructuring there. And they're just following behind with the hype. That's all this one is. Technically, this company is garbage fundamentally. But if we just look at the hype that it brings, right? The whole sector. That's why it's running up. So I don't like this one as much. But I haven't also looked at LAC as well. Let me check that one. Look at their income here. Doesn't even show their income. Where's their income? Quarterly. They don't even have any income. Quarterly, if you look at their income, there's nothing. 1 million. So this one also is a speculative trade as well. LAC is also very speculative just because they have no income whatsoever. But at least they're kind of controlling their expenses, right? It's not 186 million negative. It's only negative 12 million. And their balance sheet, they have a good amount of money. They have 500 million in cash and short term. So they got a good cash position that's actually growing for some reason. Maybe they raised some cash, or maybe they got that check from the government. But they have a lot of cash on hand. Their assets are also 1.3 billion. So they're probably sitting on a lot of land that could be mined. And then we also have liabilities still pretty low compared with their assets. They have 186 million in debt that they just made. So they probably just raised this to make that debt. And then the forecast is much lower than the current price. So you just have to be wary of all this stuff before jumping into the trade. So the analysts are giving it a price target of like 30% lower than this. But we got the hype behind the government invested in this company. So as long as we keep getting that hype and maybe more investment, this one will just probably continue to go higher. But this is a very good level to watch because we're already reversing off that level, see? So we went to as low as 785 there, and we're up to 810 already. That's already a nice move, right? That's a 25-cent move already from that low. So we're seeing some reaction, clearly some reaction off this level that we did, just like we did in the past. So one to watch here, guys, going into the next couple of days, maybe next week. As long as we hold this level, I think we have good potential to play this back towards the $9 range. And just by looking at this chart setup, I'd probably be aiming for here first, which is 856. And then I'd be aiming for up here next, which is 910. These are previous resistance or support levels that broke down. And then up here. So that's my first target of 854. If we break above 854, then I would be looking to play it to this level here. That was support, but now it's going to be resistance. So that's about 910. And then if we get above 910, I'll be following it up with a stop loss. And then if we get above 910, play it to about 960 next. So I got some targets to aim for, and then I can be following right behind with a stop loss. Does that help at all or make sense to you guys? Anyone lost in this particular idea? Maybe no comments is good, right? So this one's still holding above VWAP. Every time it retests VWAP right now, it's acting positively, this White Hawk Therapeutic. As long as it stays above VWAP here, then it could just be consolidating. And then we can maybe get the next move once we break out of this little consolidation here to the next level up here. So I'll be paying attention to that VWAP for sure on this White Hawk Therapeutic. I'm always lost. Well, I can go find you and pick you up. But you know what highway you're on? Like, what does the sign say next to you? Please use language PG-13. So, oh, this one just fell off. So that one didn't hold very well in the end, did it? That one fell right off. Fell right off. Oh, I-285. Where is that? How long is it going to take me to come from Florida to get there? Well, maybe you're in. Are you in Tampa now? Maybe it's not that far away. MP is one. They only start the rare that has made money. Once they open a mine, it takes sometimes 30 years to make money. God, Tops probably going to be an old man when that plays out. I'm in the Orlando area, Central Florida. That's where I'm at. Ooh. Anyone like quantum stocks here? Anyone think that some of the quantum computing is a little bit overvalued at these levels? Anyone been following quantum? I'm in Jacksonville. Okay. If we have enough people in Florida, that'd be cool to meet up and trade in person, huh? Have like a little session, maybe on the beach or something, overlooking the beach. Be cool. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that would be awesome. If you get like 10 people or something, nothing crazy. We're not trying to shut down like a damn conference or something, but like getting like 10 people where we can meet up at some little hangout spot, you know, by the pool or something in our flip-flops. That would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, we're Florida boys, huh? Florida boys. I'm from England, but I'm a part of Florida now. So if I'm looking at the top runners, there a lot of the top runners kind of fell off a little bit. If you want me to be honest with you guys, I'm looking at all these top runners here, and they kind of just fell off, and the volume kind of fell away. So those watch list trades didn't really play out at all. Maybe one or two did, but looking at the top gainers for the day, just kind of fell off. A lot of these fell off. No momentum follow through, which some days we get that. And those days we just don't trade as much or risk as much. My quantum list. Let me see. I just got a very good we're very I saw Mask actually. It's in I see Mask ripping back. It's at 81 cents. So Mask is one to watch. Yeah. Let me just look at Mask before I leave here. I've got some levels already, some fib levels. Let me see what those levels are. What do they mean? Let's have a look. Oh, I went from the high. Did I go from the high? Let's go from the high. Go all the way down. Oh my lord. It doesn't look very good, huh? Oh my god, but look at these. These are what trap people. Look at these wicks everywhere to the top side. So this one you have to be very careful with. And they're just quickly like scalp trades. But this is risky business here because we're looking at every kind of move that they had on Mask. This was a trade I had down here somewhere, looking for a pop out of it. You can see everyone just like the wick were huge to the upside. So these are really risky trades, and there would be quick scalp trades. So maybe above this level, you take a trade to that wick, and then you just kind of get out, or you at least instantly put protection so that you don't get that wicked out like that bad, right? So you can easily get maybe a trade from 86 to 95. And once you got there, you take your profit, you protect yourself once you get in, and you know the risk behind this kind of trade because every kind of wick that you see has fell off pretty hard afterwards. So being up here and trying to trade at this level comes with a lot of risk that I personally am not willing to take. But the trade here would be above maybe 86.5, it says there, and play it to 95, and then you're out the door at that point, right? As you can see, it just wicked down. Maybe it's a great short opportunity to short it. If it gets rejection big time, then you can maybe short this trade instead, if you know how to short. Oh, there's no short selling available and Webull in this stock, so there's that. So just looking at it like that, I say above this wick, get to this wick, then maybe this wick, and then just kind of put your protection in place as soon as you get in, so that you don't lose all this position so quickly. And you can see that line just rejected right there, and it's already down 10%. So that's just crazy. So yeah, this is not one I would even risk taking personally, because that risk, too much risk here. That's quite the sell-off already. If we go down to the 5-minute, look at that. Look at that nasty candle already here. But yeah, top gainers, there's not much moving. I'd be looking for a swing trade just based on the rules that I put in place with this little box here. I'd be looking to take a trade in LAC. That's kind of what I'm going to focus on. If we decide to just hover around this box, but we hold above it at the end of the day and we close above it, then maybe tomorrow I'd buy a few shares so I can follow it and see what we can get out of it, and then aim for these targets to the upside. But this is one that actually in that category, you know, with the whole precious metals, this one has a nice pullback entry, 16% down for the day, could be primed to reverse from here. So keep that in your top watches. This one ran up 234% on positive phase 3 for tumor. Looks like the trial did very well. Announces positive results from phase 3. Looks like drug improves daily function for movement disorder patients in trials. So a very positive reaction here on PRAX. PRAX. It is up 236%, up to 192 today. So this one, you know, we could maybe see this one at 200 plus when it's all said and done today. Momentum still above the SMA 20, so things are very positive here. All right, it's 10:34, guys. Sorry I didn't bring any good trades, any perfect trades. SPY wicked me out, but we fight another day for that, right? Right after this, I'm going to post that trade idea in the watch list channel. If you like it, you want more of it, put a thumbs up, put an emoji. Let me know how you feel. And yeah, we see you at the next stream in the Swing Coaching channel. I will be over there at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we can review some strategies and setups going into next week. So if you're interested in that, let me just post that link for you again before I jump on out of here. Let me get that real quick, and I'll put it in the comments. Give us a try. It's only like $40. Give it a try if you want to be in. Try out a strategy that's more consistent on your P&L, monthly P&L, yearly P&L, weekly P&L. So just I hope to see some of you new guys over there. So I will see you there. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Bye for now.